Hello, and I'm outside of the pond right now, and I'm about to go and see the movie Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm curious to know how it's gonna be. So, when I get back from the movie, we're gonna see what I think about it. All right? All right. Oh, better drive safe. Drive safe.
Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, starring Chris Pines, that girl from Avatar, and the guy from Love Actually. I went to theaters with my brother and my nephew. Sorry guys, you're now forever dubbed Toad, Money, and E-Toad. Live with it. Why am I saying this? Well, they gave some interesting input at the end, but until that spot, I know very little about the game. All I know it's role playing. I know very little. I have very little experience with it, like this much. My brother doesn't exist, and my nephew doesn't exist. They only know Dungeons and Dragons through Stranger Things. So, that said, the movie is very. I'm gonna be honest. The beginning was very stale. I didn't connect with the film that well. It felt very trying to be fantastical. Look at this fantastical prison. Okay, it was fantastical. I'm not gonna lie. And seeing Chris Pines playing a schmuck, I thought it was okay. The witticisms, that is very close to Marvel-ish, but not really Marvel, but it's there.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And as the movie progresses on, I got to hear the backstory through him telling them, trying to earn sympathy. And the backstory, I was once part of a noble guild, but we were going on poor times. Your house. I found it hard to believe you were having poor times because that place looked fantastically beautiful. It should have been fantastically humble. So, yeah, some marks there. And as you continue on, you're talking about your struggles and how you were doing this one big break. So you told your daughter, stay, and you go. And suddenly, you're put into a trap. You trusted the wrong lady, and you were caught and locked in prison for 2 years. And how did it do for you? Well, coming home, found out where it's abandoned and empty, and the man you left your daughter with is now making it good, people. Love Actually, it helps. And seeing he and his daughter are now estranged so much that she doesn't really recognize him. And from this estrangement, he wants to save his daughter, so that way he can rekindle this bond. So this big heist has to ensue with him trying to save her from this man. And for that, he has to pull an Ocean's 11. So he's getting a bunch of people to recruit. That wizard we did past jobs for, you're back. Now I know that your story is very cliche. Mine is cliche too. But don't worry, with our cliches together, we can save my daughter and make you look good. You up for it? Let's do it. But we need another person. We need another guy. So, do you know someone who can shapeshift? Oh, you do? All right, let's get them. Again, it felt very, to me, stale. And the movie, it was not connecting to me well. But when the shapeshifter spies and she gets caught and is leaving, that is an awesome one-shot deal. There was some blocking and then got into the visual effects. Actress, blockers, stunt work, stuntmen, cameramen, you did good. You were warming me up a bit. I was going, okay, this could be good, To then, the scene that forever changed my opinion, the graveyard. We see snippets of this in the commercials, but advertising team behind Dungeons and Dragons didn't follow Shazam. They give you a good funny bit, but that funny bit you see in the commercials were nothing. That joke bit was nothing. It is funnier as it progressed. And again, my brother and nephew, they have no connection to Dungeons and Dragons or the stories or the characterizations and such. They were laughing their heads off. I was laughing my head off. The whole audience was laughing their heads off. And after the graveyard, I feel like the movie won. It won my trust. It won my entertainment value. And the more it progressed, it got better. And we got introduced to another character, this Mr. Perfect. Wow, you're so perfect it's hard. The humor around Mr. Perfect was pretty good. Toad Money was laughing. E-Toad was laughing. I was laughing. The whole audience was rolling on the ground, really, at that point. And the adventure side quest they had to go to get some items. It was kind of fun. It was very entertaining. And I almost thought, oh, it's going to lead... This was just nothing more than filler. And as much you want to say it was filler, it also had its purpose. It built the characters a bit more. It established items that could help you on the way. And also story beats for the wizard character. And as the story, again, continued to progress, we reached to the biggest cliche of them all. The third act breakup. And you embraced your cliches. You defied my expectation. I'm not talking about the expectations of the movie because I had none. I had no idea what I was getting into. But expectations of the story, and when it got up to this part, here's my eyes. Okay, you had me, movie. You're gonna lose. What? You had me. You're gonna lose me. But then you pull a stunt like this and totally redeem yourself. You redeemed yourself. You fumbled, but yet you fumbled on purpose. And this is where Toad Money's input goes into play. He states that this movie is close to Princess Bride. Very simple and straightforward and very lighthearted. And he states that the cliches of this movie and the standards of what this movie put up, they subverted our expectations by embracing them. This guy's the villain, so he's embracing he's a villain. This character is like this, so we keep him like this. Mr. Perfect is Mr. Perfect. The schmuck is a schmuck. But as this progressed and as it continued on and just embraced these cliches, they subverted what I thought this would go to. We've seen this pattern of these characters with this spot so much, it's annoying. But they took these characters, they flirted with this spot, and they said, no, we're staying right here. Because this is where it's true to the characters and the story. Yes, it's cliche, but here's the obvious spot. We kind of hold them right here. We withhold the obvious, but yet we keep it there. We keep the cliches very cliche, but yet we hold them to the warm spot where it just fits just right. It's the Goldilocks zone. And they held it really good. Colored me impressed. You did it. You really did it. Huh. And it was really put together. And the villain and her design, makeup artist, costume design, actress, you three were the perfect match made in production. You were very visually stunning. Your character was entertaining to see be bad, but you didn't held that much of a presence. You're not like Jaws or Darth Vader. Of course, those are the high benchmarks. Let's try the presence of other movies, like in Princess Bride. The Prince Humperdinck and the Six-Fingered Man. Not that much the Six-Fingered Five-Fingered Man, I'd say Prince Humperdinck. She has his levels of presence. It's just there. And not that much threatening, but yet entertaining. And so, yeah, I give her that, an entertaining presence as a villain. But what does this mean overall? What does this mean for the movie? Is this good or is this bad? Is this just blah? Well, to describe what we think about it, it's fun and dumb, like the movie Shazam. Fun, dumb. The best way how to wrap up this movie and how I judge it, I would have to compare it to Shazam. Not in the levels of movies, but in the levels of fun and dumb. It's a combo. It's one of my favorite genres of film. And these two movies are very fun and dumb. But if I compare them in the levels of fun and dumb, I find that I was laughing a whole lot more and with a lot more enthusiasm with Dungeons & Dragons than I did with Shazam. And the movie of Dungeons & Dragons, the audience actually clapped and cheered twice. Shazam didn't really get that. And the Dungeons & Dragons movie, I admit, made me flinch. So, the levels of fun dumb this movie had was great. Really well put together. And yet, I have to admit, the music felt not that much of an add-on. The music didn't do as much for Dungeons & Dragons. And to be honest, Shazam kind of had a little better. Little, not like a whole level, just a small percentile. But there's the audience we need to talk about. Again, they cheered, they laughed. 3 people who did not know the genre of storytelling in Dungeons & Dragons itself, we were able to enjoy it just as much. Where would I put this? Well, here in the pond, we rate movies, books, and shows 1 out of 7. Why? Because we have an odd number. And that middle number, that is exactly the middle, is a 4. And where would we put this movie? Honestly, I'd give it a 6.
Yeah!
It was just that entertaining, that much fun. I still want to recommend it to my brother. Well, I'm one of 6 kids, and I have too many nieces and nephews. There's close to 19 of them. Yet, all my other brothers I would gladly invite. Even the eldest of all us, Big Frog, the biggest critic you'll ever meet in your entire life, I do not know how he'll think of this, but I feel comfortable recommending it to him because it's fun and dumb. I don't want him to give him a good review. I want him just to experience it and see if he'll laugh or not. Because if he laughs, I know the movie won. So, yeah, that's where I put it. 6 out of 7. And until next time, it's the Bullfrog without the newt signing out. Yeah, it's my new mug I got from my vacation. It's pretty neat, huh? Just happy I went there for once.
4 more questions, right?
Yes.
No, that wasn't for you. Did that count as a question?
Yes.
Damn it.
Come on, to the Empress.
You to stop Profion.